All right. Welcome to episode 19, 18, 17.
We really should have checked that.
I think it's 17.
I think it's 17. Yeah.
Somewhere between 17 and 19.
It's 17. Yeah, there you go.
Of the Here's to the Rubble podcast. That was
Strong start.
Yeah. And, you know, for the intro, we're listening to Ease and Grace by Ayatera. This is off their new record. Came out, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Are these guys on that massive reggae playlist you sent me that I still like now, over a month later, still haven't listened to?
I think this album is, but I'm not sure if I've gotten around to adding the rest of their stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, this record's really sick. They got a lot of awesome reggae artists on this record. They got Tribal Seeds on one song. They got Stick Figure on one song. Mike Love on one. Steel Pulse. Yeah, bunch of good bands. Really good record. I like it.
Sick, man. Yeah, I really, one of these days, I gotta just actually listen to it. Problem is, I do most of my music listening when I'm not in like a place where I have service, like, you know, I'm out in the field,
right,
like
on the
driving tractor around or whatever. Yeah. I like how every time you say that, you say it with an accent.
Yeah, on the tractor.
On the tractor. So I'm like, I can't download an entire like 24-hour reggae playlist just to drive around and listen to it. Like that's too much space. That's why I usually just do albums, but I'll listen to it eventually. I think I'm gonna have some like time off coming up soon because like we start school pretty soon. So
I'll give you some homework right now. What you're gonna do next time you're gonna be on the tractor is just before you go, just hit shuffle on the reggae playlist, and whatever record it lands on, that's the record you download.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't do my homework from last cast.
I don't remember that I gave you homework.
At the very end, we were like speculating about whether or not Gangnam Style is K-pop or not, and I was like, I think it is. And you're like, all right, you got to listen to one K-pop album by next week. That's your homework.
Can you pull that up for me?
Yeah.
I didn't listen to any K-pop, so I have no answer. And I have nothing to talk about in regards to K-pop, unfortunately.
Yeah, me neither. I completely forgot about that conversation.
Yes, it is K-pop.
Oh, what? That's
crazy. Because it's Korean pop
It
music.
is a K-pop and dance song.
There you go.
It's kind of crazy that dance is a genre, since that's like emotion. Like a
Yeah,
physical.
but like, you know, the
Alright.
song that a song that you would dance to is, you know, I guess in the genre
Alright, Gage,
of
are
that.
you on the fucking podcast now or something?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
You want somebody to edit this?
3 minutes in, and this just turned into Joe Rogan. Like, whoa, man, like, how crazy is it that there's like a whole genre just called dance? Like,
You ever tried
Man.
DMT?
you ever like, you ever listen to dance music? That sounds crazy, man.
It's like
I've never-
music that
You,
you're
like,
supposed to dance to.
You ever listen to
Like, are you
math
supposed
rock?
to dance to like all music, man? Anyway, that's
Anytime it's a
Joe
you and
Rogan
me
mixed with
episode.
Anthony Fantano.
Anytime you and me do just like a solo episode, we have like at least one little tangent somewhere.
Yeah, like a goofy riff that just
Yeah.
like means nothing and goes nowhere.
So what have you been listening to, Steve?
God damn it! I was gonna ask you. You beat
Yeah.
me to it. I haven't really listened to anything like new. Really, like last week, I listened to a bunch of whole brand new albums, and I was like, "These are cool." And then I've just been like resting on my laurels since then for some reason. I've listened to the same albums again though. Like I checked out Dreamland again, like that Glass Animals album that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to give this another listen to because I liked it, but I'm not sure what I think about it. I'm still in the same mind where I'm like, maybe it's just because it's pop music, it doesn't really leave me with like much of an opinion on it. But I'm
Right.
like, this is good to listen to, but I don't really have anything more to say other than that.
Yeah.
I've been listening to that Phoebe Bridgers album, Punisher, I've also been listening to that one a lot, but I can't listen to it too much or I will get too sad.
Yeah, I was gonna check out because I've never really listened to Phoebe Bridgers before.
Dude, she's got like a beautiful voice, and her lyrics are like so well written. Like she talks about like some. I mean, it's all stuff where it's like, oh wow, you're singing about being depressed. Wow, that's crazy. But the way she phrases things, like she uses like I don't know, her lyrics are really well written. Like there's stuff where I'm like, wow, that's a really good way of putting something that I've felt before, but I've never been able to put it into words like
Right.
that before. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I've been waiting until like a time when I'm already sad or something.
Oh yeah, you
Because
can't just go be making yourself sad to listen.
yeah, especially like because the past like 2 or 3 weeks I've been in a pretty good mood for the most part.
That's awesome, man.
But I suppose I still be like for the most part listening to like music about not necessarily happy stuff and shit. I listen to like music about political struggles and shit.
Yeah, I've been writing some stuff like that recently, actually,
Oh yeah.
which I'm kind of excited about, but I'm also just like I'm not saying anything new, but it's nice because I'm saying what I actually feel about things. So,
Right.
like, I was just like 2 days ago, I was just like, I think it was 2 days ago, might have been 3. I don't think it really matters that much because whenever someone listens to this, it'll be a different amount of days ago. So it really doesn't matter at all. What a weird tangent. Sorry. Anyway, I was just like driving around in the tractor listening to like I have voice memos on my phone from like band practices, from like song ideas, like like riffs or like chord progressions or whatever. So sometimes I do that when I'm like, because I find that I come up with ideas when I'm just like driving. Like whenever I used to like drive the highway from like my hometown to like where my brother lives in Calgary, it would be like a 6 hour drive, not 6 hours, like 5.5 hour drive.
Right.
And I would always come up with ideas during that time because my brain is just trying to fill in that space. And I have that a lot too when I'm like doing just like busy work at work. But for some reason, like driving the tractor back and forth, I don't have it as much. Like even though it's a combination of exactly both those things. But yeah, sometimes I'll just drive back and forth and I'll like listen to these voice memos and I'll come up with like I'll come up with like lyrics or vocal melodies for these songs that I have. Oh no, I just clicked on something by accident. For these songs that I have, but I don't have like actual like they're not finished. They're just ideas that need to be worked on. And yeah, like for some reason I was just really angry about like the state of the world and the government and corporations and blah blah
Right.
blah this and that. So I wrote some stuff like basically I was just like listening to this pretty aggressive riff we have, and I was like, oh shit, what about? And then I just started like the melody is basically da 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 da, like that type of thing, right?
Right.
So I just started yelling like those notes with like some words about what I was mad about, and I just wrote that down, and I was like, yeah, that's I'm probably not even going to change this because this is I don't know if I can make it any better, but this is just completely accurate to what I think about these issues.
Right.
I don't. It's sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say. So you heard it here first, folks. Look out for Steve's next song. It's gonna be called "Donald Trump is Still Our President." I think that's pretty weird since he's Canadian, but he's just singing what he feels.
I mean, listen, he's a bad guy, but boy is he. I'm not even...
Can't even get through it.
He's funny on TV.
He is very funny.
He's so funny. It's even funnier for me because I'm like, I don't live in this country, so I can just kind of look in and be like, haha. Like when he does something goofy that gets everyone angry, and they're like, oh my god, I'm not going to be able to afford my rent this month. I look at that and I'm like, I mean, I'm not in that country, so still pretty funny.
Right.
But no, I also want to title the song something dumb and long, like "There's no more dragons left to slay, kill a billionaire," something like that.
Oh,
but
that's dope. I like that.
oh, actually, it's something I will say one line from the song because there's a story that goes along with it. My roommate Stellar is well, all my roommates are in the band. Well, except for one, I guess, are from the band Gratuitous Platypus.
Wait, they are?
But Yeah, I've talked about that like 100 times on this podcast, whatever. But you know, I say it every time just in case there's a new listener or whatever. They don't know what's going on. But there was one night where I was just like, I forget why, but I was just drinking alone in my room. I was angry about something. Nothing like related to like the house or anything, but I was just like, well, you know, things could be better, just society in general or whatever. And I kind of like I emerged from my doorway to go back to the kitchen to grab like more whiskey, and Stellar and Tristan are just sitting in the living room and they're drinking too, and I'm like, well, what are you guys talking about? We just start talking about politics, and you know, like a bunch of drunk 20 somethings are all talking about, you know, how we would fix the world, or like like, you know, oh no, I just had a problem with my audio, so I guess we're going with whatever you guys are recording of me, because it just said that my audio, the disc is too slow or overload, so that all got, it just stopped recording.
That's it. Huh. Hold on, I gotta get Jalen in here. Steve, you can go.
Oh, damn. Fair enough. Anyway, fuck, what was I saying? But yeah, that's fine. We can cut that out or something, or we won't, and then you guys will hear this. Anyway, yeah, so we were just like talking about stuff, and then for some reason Stellar and I just started like getting like angry and like just upset about like I don't know, like corporations, the government, and Jeff Bezos specifically, I think was one that we were like talking about, and I think it was me. I think I said something about how like we were talking about trickle down economics, and he was like, yeah, but it doesn't fucking work because, you know, all of them just hoarded like fucking dragons with like their stashes of gold and shit. And I was like, and then I said like the title or whatever, that was kind of like the idea. I was like, yeah, fucking there's no more dragons left to slay. You just got to kill a billionaire. And then I was like, it's like, yeah, man, trickle down economics, like it's a great idea, but fucking it's not, it doesn't work when they just fucking keep all that money. I was like, the only way it trickles down is on the blade of a guillotine. And then we were kind of just like, we were just kind of sitting there, and then I think it was me who said it. I believe it was, because I remember Stellar just going like, we kind of both stopped, and I was like, damn, that's kind of like a cool song lyric, isn't it? And he's like, yeah, it is. Can I use that? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's both do that. So then like I wrote it down in a notebook, and then I kind of just like forgot about it. Well, I didn't forget about it, but I just didn't have anything to put it to. But like, I think the next night, like actually, apparently, like, yeah. So the next day I see Stellar, and he's like, hey man, I want to show you something. I'm like, what? And he just plays me this song that he started writing. And he was like, yeah, I just got really inspired after that conversation last night, and like that line specifically. And he played me this really cool thing that he had with that line. And I think he said it's going to be like a gratuitous platypus song. It's not just going to be like one of his like solo releases.
That's
so if yeah, it's kind of interesting. And then he was like, "What have you come up with anything for it?" I'm like, "No, but I'm definitely going to, because I like the line." He's like, "You totally should, man." He's like, "It'll be really cool to see like how differently it ends up. Like we both kind of started from the same place. We started from like the same idea. Like we even came up with it together essentially. But to see how different the songs will end up being will be kind of cool."
Yeah, definitely.
And then yeah, like I was just driving around angry, listening to that voice note with the like guitar riff or whatever. And then I remembered that lyric, and I was like, oh shit, that would like work perfectly for this. So I just yelled some more stuff that rhymed with that, and I was like, okay, here we go. I got it. I got something now. So I'm pretty excited. Like I cannot wait to get back, like meeting up with the band and just like start like fleshing this out more, because I think it's a good start, and it's gonna be cool. Like, because I've only heard like Stellar like play like the little riff that he had on the guitar with that, and then the lyrics. Be cool to hear like the whole band play his thing, and then the whole band, like my whole band, play my thing, and just be like, hey, it's kind of like, look at that, you know? It's,
yeah, that'd be wicked sick.
Yeah, I'm kind of stoked for that. And then what else? I had something else to say about like driving around the tractor and listening to like music and trying to write stuff. I guess I don't know. It's just something that I got to fill the time somehow, because I spend like basically like an entire 8-hour day of work completely alone, like not seeing another human being or talking to anyone. So I use that time.
God, that sounds refreshing.
It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice, except for then that's what I do when I get home too. So I we'll sometimes go like if like I stay at my parents' place like in my hometown or whatever during the summers. But if they're like out of town for like a week or like 2 weeks or something, I'm like, oh, it's been 4 days and I haven't spoken out loud to another human.
Yeah,
Stuff
that's
like
pretty
that.
crazy.
It kind of is, but that's my own fault. I could definitely just go track down one of my friends or something. But yeah, I end up filling a lot of that time just like, I don't know, either I'll come up with like melodies or like sing stuff and like be like, oh, maybe I'll use that for something, maybe I won't, or I'll just like listen to music, sing along to music, or like do vocal exercises because I'm like, I'm out here all day and no one can hear me, so I can be as loud and sound as bad as I need to.
True.
So that's kind of nice. But yeah, I've been coming up with some ideas recently for like songs, and I'm like really excited to like actually put them together. You know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely stoked to take a look here.
Yeah, I'll probably send them your way, and then I don't know. Eventually, when I have some to like show, probably play it on the air maybe.
Right. Yeah. That'd be awesome. Oh, that'd be awesome.
If you'll let me.
Yeah. I'll have to think about it.
It's good musicians only, actually, Steve.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's true. That's true.
But yeah, I guess the question you asked was what have I been listening to? So I feel like I should talk a little bit more about that first before I ask you what you've been listening to.
Right.
What else have I been listening to? I keep going back to that Almost Free album by Fiddler. It's just good.
Okay.
I pretty much listened to S/T by Joyce Manor and Cody by Joyce Manor, those two albums, like at least once, like every 2 days.
Nice.
They're just good. And Everything Nice by Arm's Length is also one that I've been like really, really, really like checking out a lot. It's like an EP. I played the first episode of this podcast actually. I played their one song Garamond, which was like their first.
Okay, yeah,
single.
I remember that.
They're so good. So yeah, I've been listening to that like
That was back when you were a guest.
It was, yeah. I might be a liar. It might not be their first single. It's just the first thing by them that I heard, at least. But anyway, yeah. I'm listening to that, and then what else have I been listening to? There's one specific thing that I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember what it was. Just more of that Soundgarden album, I guess. I think I brought it up last time. Super Unknown, fantastic.
Yep. I think you mentioned
Rest in
that.
peace, Chris Cornell. Yeah. What about you, man? What have you been listening to?
I've actually been pretty busy this past week. So I haven't really listened to that much stuff like on my own. But I was listening to a Railyard Ghost album.
What, sorry?
Railyard Ghosts.
Railyard Ghosts.
Yeah.
Never heard of them.
They did a split with Days and Days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think they're really sick. I've never really listened to them much, like outside of that split. But yeah, this album I listened to was really good. It's called, I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's Hi-Wraith. It's HIR, then like that, you know, like the A and E, but they're connected.
Oh, yeah. I haven't know how to pronounce it either. I was going to make fun of you.
And then TH. I don't know how to pronounce it. But it's a really good record. I like it a lot. I was gonna play the Highway or the Hangman Part 1 on this episode, but I decided not to because it's 6 minutes long.
Yeah, that would have been fine, honestly. But
yeah,
fair.
But it's a pretty cool song. You should definitely check it out because like. Yeah, it's like titled Part 1 and Part 2 is right after it on the record. And they do a good job. They do a good job of at the end of Part 1, you're like, damn, now I definitely want to hear Part 2.
Well, send me that then, because I'll definitely check it out. That sounds cool. But I had an epiphany of what I wanted to talk about because I remembered one of the other things that I've been listening to. While you were talking, but I don't know if I didn't. That was another thing where I was like, I can't play this because it's too long. I was talking about it a little bit earlier.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But I'm a fan of jazz. Like I'm a big jazz fan. I've been listening to like a lot of like Charles Mingus lately.
Right.
Because he's like the best. I'm sorry, that was my phone. I'm gonna just turn that off.
Yeah, that might have been me. I sent you that record.
It absolutely was. But yeah, I've just been listening to a lot of Charles Mingus lately. I would love to play some of his stuff on here, but like my favorite songs by him are like 12 minutes long. Like Haitian Fight Song, which is the first off of his album The Clown. It's incredible. Like some of the best. Like it starts with like an amazing bass solo, and it's just like
bass friendly podcast.
Bass friendly podcast. Charles Mingus, one of the greats. Like, oh.
Dope, send me that. I'll definitely check it out.
I will. And then The Clown off of that same album is fantastic. It's really interesting because it's jazz, but like a lot of the stuff that he makes, he composes stuff. Like Mingus is a famous composer, but apparently like all of the like so The Clown, what it is Mingus does this thing sometimes, like when he's not the only one who's done it, but it'll be jazz, it'll be like music in the background, and then there'll be someone like speaking like spoken word poetry over it. And The Clown is interesting. It's the story of like, well, believe it or not, it's the story of a clown. But apparently, according to like the jacket of the album art or whatever, it says that that's improvised. And it's not Mingus who says it. I forget who it is, the one that like speaks the poetry in that or whatever. But like it's like this whole like story, and apparently, yeah, like the words are all like improvised, which I find really interesting. But I think my favorite example of like that type of thing where it's like jazz with like poetry over it is this song called man, okay. I think it's I would just want to make sure that I'm calling it the right thing. It's from this album called A Modern Symposium of Music and Poetry, which quite the title. But it's called Scenes in the City, and it's one of my favorite pieces of music ever, I think. It's like 11 minutes long, and it's I'm not sure why I like it so much. I think it's just because like to me it's so what it is it's Mingus. I believe it's him actually like speaking it. I actually don't know for sure if that's his voice or not. I totally should know that. But it's just him talking about how he's like, yeah, I like jazz music. I don't have a lot of money, and that's basically all it is. It's just a dude talking about how he likes jazz and how hard his life is, and something about that just really resonates with me.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Like he's like talking about how he's like ducking the landlady because he can't afford the rent, but he's still like going uptown just to listen to jazz music and stuff like that. And I don't know. It's a treat. I would say definitely check that out. If you're listening to this right now, you have the time.
Yeah, honestly, stop listening to this. Mm-hmm. Go listen to that.
Go listen to that.
And then listen to High Wraith by Railyard Ghosts. I don't know how to say it. Also, just so you know, that album is 20 songs and an hour and 43 minutes long.
Holy crap.
That's
like a long album.
Yeah, there's like fucking a 14-minute long song, a 12-minute long song, 2 6-minute long songs.
Dude, I just realized something. I'm totally like a total loser. Your reggae playlist, I just clicked on it. It's only 5 hours long. There's like no
you're looking at the wrong one.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was gonna say there's no excuse for me to not have downloaded that. Then.
Yeah, no, the big one is Here's to the Reggae. I called it. I feel like that's very clever, right?
There you go. Okay.
Now, here's to the Chumbawamba, because we're gonna listen to today's first song.
All right, let's hear it.
You like my YouTuber guy voice?
Now, here's to the Chumbawamba, because we're gonna listen to today's first song. Yeah. That was great, man.
Yeah, first song today, we got The Day the Nazi Died by Chumbawamba.
We've been doing this song for years, and it's still relevant.
We're taught that after the war the Nazis vanished without a trace, but battalions of fascists still dream of a master race. The history books they tell of their defeat in 45, but they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. They say the prisoner of Spandau was a symbol of defeat. Was Hess remained in prison, then the fascists they were beat. So the promise of an Aryan world would never materialize. So why did they all come out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died? The world is riddled with maggots, the maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So if you meet with these historians, I'll tell you what to say. Tell them that the Nazis never really went away. They're out there burning houses down and peddling racist lies. And we'll never rest again until every Nazi dies.
RJ, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm very disappointed that was not tub thumping.
Dude, at first I got mad. You said, RJ, I'm disappointed, and my face turned into a scowl.
I'm just like, I'm serious, man. Like, I was expecting like a song about, getting knocked down
and then getting back up again. You know, maybe a song about a whiskey drink.
Stay down. Yeah, I want a whiskey drink.
Maybe even a vodka drink.
That's so funny that it's the same band. Like,
dude, Chumbawamba's so sick.
But like, all everyone knows is just tub thumping, man.
And I don't know if I like had a fever dream about this or not, but I'm pretty sure tub thumping was like they made it as a meme. Like I'm pretty sure they made it as like a dig at like corporate media or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, we can make a fucking great fucking hit song easy or whatever, and they made like a stupid one. But dude, they've got like a bunch of like politically smart songs and shit. I'm pretty sure they've got an album called like Give the Anarchist a Cigarette.
They absolutely do. I was just looking at that actually.
But yeah, I think,
or at least a song called that.
Yo, but yeah, I think that song we just listened to is a really good song. And I'm really interested to hear what you have to say.
That sounded cool, man. I actually, I made fun of you for not knowing who Chumbawamba was because I knew Tub Thumping. I've never listened to them like this, at least, actually. So I was like I said, I was taken aback. Like I was joking about being disappointed, but I definitely wasn't expecting like that type of sound from them.
Right. Yeah.
Is that like representative of like their style, you would say, or no?
I still haven't listened to a ton of Chumbawamba because I gotta be in like a mood to hear them, because I'm about to answer your question with why. And that's, I feel like I never heard two Chumbawamba songs that sound similar in any way.
Oh, really? Interesting.
But I might just be crazy. I smoke a lot of weed, so that might fuck with my perception of things.
Well, the two Chumbawamba songs that I've heard are that one and Tub Thumping, and they do not sound the same. So I'll give you that. Yeah, pretty different.
And that specifically, I'm pretty sure it's the only version of that song on Spotify. It's just called Nazi on Spotify.
Okay.
But that's like a live version with like no instruments, as you probably noticed.
That's why I was confused.
And I think I've only ever listened to like the actual version once. But you want to know how I discovered this song and like got into Chumbawamba? I was actually
100% going to ask that, so I'm very curious.
So you know that I'm the world's biggest Mischief Brew fan.
I do know that, yeah.
Well, I was just like sitting there on YouTube, like watching live sets from Eric and shit. Mm-hmm. And this shit was like seriously from, I think it was like 2004.
Holy shit.
And it was him just playing a few songs like after a show, just like in a hallway or some shit.
Nice.
And he opened like the whole thing with The Day the Nazi Died by Chumbawamba. And I remember hearing it, I'm like, yo, I've never heard this Mischief Brew song. This is sick. So I did.
You're like, this is like undiscovered, man.
Yeah.
Like unreleased.
So I did like mad research to try and find the song, and then I realized, this is a cover. And it was, Eric just killing the day the Nazi died. And then just recently I found another video of him performing that song. And before he starts it, he goes, so this song is originally written by a British band. If we should hold that against them, I don't know. And
We should.
Yeah, exactly. Because, and I don't in general know about you, Steve. But me and Gage really like making fun of British people.
Oh, I love it. My roommate George has like family that's British, and he's like super into like British culture and stuff like that. And I will just send him memes that are just like about Margaret Thatcher dying and stuff, and he's all about it. So.
You ever listen to like old IRA fucking rebel music?
No, I haven't, but I bet I would enjoy it, honestly.
Dude, you got to check out Come Out Ye Black and Tans.
4th podcast song?
Oh, we might have to do a quick fucking... Or we'll do it after your song, but yeah, before we end this, we might have to listen to an old fucking IRA rebel song. I gotta decide between...
that wouldn't be the first time we've done that, right?
Right.
We did that once with...
Crackhampton.
Crackhampton.
Yo, YouTube tried to tell me I wasn't connected to the internet when I tried to look up this song.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
They're trying to suppress
You know why? It's
us.
because I was about to say, they're trying to keep everything away from the... They don't want you hearing the IRA stuff, man.
Yeah.
They don't want that.
But, also, I did want to talk about just my weekend on this podcast. Just because Friday I went to, it was a party, but like, a band played and then like a handful of just like solo musicians were going up and playing music and stuff. And I just wanted to say that live music is still the best thing ever.
Yeah, man. Absolutely it is.
Yeah, it was really sick fucking at first. So at first we're all just hanging out in like the barn, and it was humid as fuck.
Wait. Did you say barn?
I did say barn.
You were in a this was a barn show?
Oh yeah, we had a little barn burner.
Literally.
But yeah, fucking my uncle Matt, who's in a local band called Natural Medicine, reggae band. Yeah, he's got this buddy who throws parties and shit, and he throws them sometimes on his mom's, like, I think it's his parents' like second property or something. But they got like a barn there. There's like a little pond. It's like a long driveway to get to it. But yeah, it was really sick. Just, good food, all sorts of awesome people. But it was humid as fuck the entire time. It was so humid. And like I'm not kidding, after all the music was like ending and we're all kind of getting ready to go and shit, we went out by Matt's car and we touched his car and it was like soaking wet, but it didn't rain yet. It ended up raining a little while after that. But yeah, it hadn't rained yet, but the car was like completely wet.
Just from like the condensation or whatever?
Yep.
That's wild.
Dude, you were soaked when you got in the car.
Yeah, I was absolutely soaked when I got in the car. Fucking. But yeah, at one point, I was just sitting there talking to the bassist of Matt's band, Natural Medicine. Bonky is his name. Well, his nickname.
No, that's not his God-given name. That's not what's on his birth certificate and his driver's license.
No, like a judge would not call him Bonky. But
would Mr. Bonky please take the stand?
They call him Bonk?
Yep, they call him Bonk.
Sir Bonk.
But we were just sitting there talking, and he's just like, messing around with his bass, getting ready and shit. And he just starts playing Gang Control by Leftover Crack on bass, which has a sick bass line. So that was pretty cool. And then his bass amp stopped working. And then we thought that music wasn't going to happen from them because they could not. And this was an issue. The last show I went to, which was also Natural Medicine, his bass amp fucked up and he ended up just playing guitar the whole time. Same amp. Yeah, he's got to
Dude,
get like
get
a
a new
whole new.
amp.
Yeah, he's
Get a
got to
new
get
amp.
like a whole new rig.
I say that like that's just so easy.
Right. But
We're getting fixed.
this time we actually they got it working like right when it was time to play, which was sick, and it worked
Nice.
throughout their set, and that was awesome. And then the next night, Saturday night, I went to another natural medicine show at a bar. Bass amp would not work. So we played through just like a fucking like one of the house speakers.
Yeah, that I've seen that happen before. Where it's just like, all right, I guess we're gonna just plug into the PA system or whatever.
Which like Bonky was kind of upset, at least at first, because he could hear it and it didn't sound great to him.
Yeah,
But,
I mean it doesn't sound as good, man.
yeah, but I think they sounded great. My only complaint about the bar show is that it was really hot upstairs. Because the bar they were playing at is a place in Oswego called The Brick. And yeah, it's just called The Brick Bar.
Rick.
But
Wait, like the mattress store?
what?
Is that just a Canadian thing? The Brick? Do you guys not have the Brick?
We have The Brick, but it's a bar.
We don't have mattress stores. We have money laundering operations.
Yep.
It's like it's like a furniture store. The Brick. Do you guys not have those in the States?
I don't think so, bro.
Oh shit. Well, then, anyway, continue while I Google the Brick real quick.
But yeah, The Brick is just upstairs. Like you open the door to the place and then you walk up the steepest flight of stairs you've ever seen. So I helped them load all their equipment into upstairs. And I realized, hey, it's like 20 degrees hotter up here than it is outside.
Hell up here, yeah.
So after I helped them bring all their shit upstairs, I go, I'm gonna go outside where it's cooler and take a smoke break. And then around the time they started playing music, I went back upstairs, listened to music pretty much until they took a break, and then I went back outside until they started playing music again.
I mean, that sounds like a lot of shows, man, that I've been to. Like that's
yeah, like literally, pretty much. I think I missed a total of like 4 songs, but they played from like 9 p.m. to like 1 a.m.
weird. That just reminded me of a story. I don't know if I've told it even to you or if I've told it on here, but finish your story and then I'll decide if I want to tell it or not, I guess.
Yeah, to wrap up, just in general, I missed probably like 4 songs because I just turned to like the person I'm standing next to, be like, it's hot as fuck in here. I'm gonna go take a smoke break.
Man, I gotta go.
Like I remember like walking outside when the show was officially over, and like when we finished getting all of their equipment out of the bar, I remember touching the collar to my vest, and it was wet.
Just soaked.
Yeah, like fucking. I couldn't quite wring it out like the night before at the barn, but it was definitely physically wet.
Gross, man.
Sorry, one more thing.
No, go right ahead, man. No.
And also, I got to call out Matt One, the conga player for natural medicine, because like as the show ended Saturday night at the bar, he comes outside and goes to me, RJ, I gotta go home. You want to take care of my congas for me? Put him in Spuler's car. Spuler is the drummer. Yeah. I go, oh yeah, them stairs, my one eye, and some congas. That sounds like a great mixture.
That sounds like a good idea. Yeah.
So then I pawned it off onto someone else. All right, now you may speak.
Well, I'm just trying to decide which story I should tell now, because I have a story about taking down from a gig that was a nightmare, and I have a story about missing bands playing that was a nightmare too.
I just quick thing. What we could do is you could tell one story, and then we'll listen to your song, and then you tell the other.
You know what? Sure, let's do that. So I'll start with my my one about and it's possible I told it on this podcast already. I don't remember, but my one about missing songs from bands that I wanted to see. So one time I was at this house show. This was like 2 years ago, before COVID. This house show, like with like people from my university, like other music students and like friends of mine or whatever. And Gratuitous Platypus was playing, and so was like this other band. I forget. I think it's a band that I ended up being a part of that later. That then like kind of shut down and stuff like that. But whatever, that doesn't matter. But they were playing, and it was like it was like a house show, right? And people were hanging out, and I show up a little bit late because so I missed the opener completely. Which is too bad because he's like a nice dude or whatever. But like, I was busy. I was doing something else. I was like, I was pre-drinking with one of my other friends, and then we get there, and like, she kind of goes off to do her thing, and I go off to do my thing, and I see a dude that I like know from school, but I don't really talk to that much. And I was like, oh shit, like, hey man, like, how you doing? I didn't know you were at this party. Like, I didn't know you were even coming. And he was like, yeah, I'm having a good time, man. I'm having a better time than Buddy in the backyard. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he kind of points, and he's like, yeah, you know that guy, the guitar player or whatever? And like, he's like, I don't really know him, but seems like he's not having a good time. And I look, and just like this dude who I know from school who I like played like in class with before or whatever, he is just like in the backyard, just hunched over, like he's not throwing up, but he's about to, right? And I'm just like, is no one like taking care of him?
What was it, Zach from Your Disorder? Because all the time on his like Snap story, it'll like be videos of him and his friends hunched over on the side of the road, like throwing up and shit. Or like it'll be like the day after a show, and he'll just like post all his bruises and cuts and scrapes from the pit.
I've seen some of his like story posts just on Instagram of like wicked show last night, and it's just like a picture of like someone bleeding or something.
Yeah. Dude, I gotta go to a Houston punk show.
Yeah, you gotta, man. It's a lot easier for you to get down there than it would be for me.
Get a passport, dummy.
Well, geographically, at least. Is that true? Yeah, I think it's closer. Know. You're probably closer to Houston than I am, man.
Probably not by like a ton, though. Because Houston is more west from me, and you're also more west from me. I think you're in the same time zone as Houston, even.
Is that true?
Well, no, I think they're an hour ahead of you.
I'm in like the Colorado time zone, I think.
Yeah, they're in. Yeah, you're in Mountain Time Zone. I'm pretty sure, like Texas.
Right, Mountain Time, baby.
Texas, or at least most of Texas, is Central Time Zone.
There you go.
But
yeah, anyway.
But is Houston Western Texas? I think it is.
I have no idea where Houston is, man. Listen, I'm okay with Canadian geography. You give me a map of the states, I can name maybe 2 states.
Oh yeah, like, where's Vancouver?
Vancouver? That's what are you, an idiot? In Western BC, or not Western Canada in BC? Sorry,
wow,
not Western BC.
You fucked
not
it
on
up
the island.
At first. You had to think about it.
Well, I mean, technically it's Western BC because it's like on the coast.
You're fired.
But like, all right, whatever. Yeah, never mind.
So what song did you pick for today?
No, my story isn't over, man.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
No, oh my,
I
there's
forgot.
so much more.
I brought up Zach.
Yeah. There's so much more actually. So like there's supposed to be 3 bands playing this like show or whatever. I missed the opener, and I get there right as the second band's coming on. And like the thing is, like, this show started early. It started at like 7 or 8 or something. So Buddy is just I think it was 8. So dude is just like in the backyard like at like 8:30, just like dying already. I'm not gonna name him because I don't want to dox him or anything, but I'm gonna tell the story because I think it's really funny. And I hope he doesn't get mad at me or listen to this. But yeah, he's just like he's like just dying in the backyard, like about to throw up, and I'm like, hey man, like, are you okay? Like, what's going on, dude? And he's just like, oh, Steve, I'm sorry, man. I think I just had too much to drink. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's fair to say, man. And like the dude whose house this is, his mom lives there too because it's her house, and she's just like pissed. Like she sees this dude like doing, she's just like angry. She's like, he needs to go home. And I'm like,
wait, the mom was there at the house show?
Yeah, well, she was like upstairs or whatever, but then like I guess she heard there was some kid who was just dying outside, so she comes down and is just like, God damn it, like, not, you're gonna be doing this in my house, like, come on. And like it's not like she was like hanging out, like, right, you know, like, whoa, what's
still
up, guys?
Odd to me, but maybe maybe I'm the odd one.
No, I'm kind of with you. I was just, I mean, but
like I feel like fair, most people would house, wait until like their mom's out of town or something.
Yeah, that's why, I don't know, it was weird because I guess it was like, it was cool with her as long as everyone was actually like, you know, respectful and not, being idiots about the way they drink, but
evidently
like,
that didn't really apply to
evidently
everyone.
that did not happen. Boy, did it not. So so I'm like, all right, well, I'm sorry, buddy, I gotta take you home. He's like, no, but I want to stay until Gratuitous Platypus. I want to hear them. So I'm like, all right, fine. I'll try and sober you up. So I like walk up to like the dude whose house is it, his mom, and I'm like, he wants to stay for a little longer so he can see the next band. I'm just gonna get him some water, get him some snacks, try and sober him up a little bit. If he gets any worse, I will bring him home. And she's like, okay, thank you. And I'm like, yeah, no problem, whatever. I guess this is my job now. Like,
Wait, did you know this guy? I couldn't remember if you said like you knew him.
I know him. Like, I know him from class. Like, we were classmates, but like, we weren't like
good buddies or nothing.
No. Like, I literally, like, he's a dude that I have spoken to like maybe like 5 times before or something. Like at school, nah, more than that. But I want it to be very clear.
Maybe a couple.
I want it to be very clear. This man was not my responsibility at all. So I get like a like bowl full of chips, and I just start like handing them to him. And I'm just like, just eat up, buddy. And I get him some water, and he's drinking water, but he's not getting any better. Like, he can't stand. Like, he's just like leaning on me. So I think Gratuitous Platypus starts, and they're like playing, and then he throws up in the backyard, and then
man,
the mom was like, yeah, all right, if he throws up, he's got to go home. And I was like, all right, buddy, I almost said his name. That would have been bad. I'm like, all right, pal, we got to get you home. So I call him an Uber because I don't have my car at this point. Like, this is before I had my car in the city. So I take an Uber with him, and I'm like, what's your brother's phone number? Because he lived with his brother. And he's like, thankfully he remembered it because his phone was dead. So he gives it to me, and I text his brother, hey man, just so you know, we're like on our way. Actually, no, I think I called him and I left him a message, just hoping that he would answer, because I was like, man, if his brother doesn't answer, I'm just gonna be standing with him outside of his apartment that he's locked out of in the cold. Because this was also, I think this was like in February or something.
Oh, so that puke was probably noticeable on the snow for a while.
Yeah, I forget, man. It was cold, but it was like, anyway, it might have been March actually, but whatever.
Okay.
I remember it was cold, but there wasn't a lot of snow. But anyway,
right.
Yeah, I carry him like to his like outside of his apartment, and then thankfully, I guess his brother did get my message, and he came down right away and helped him up. And I was like, all right, see you at school, buddy. And I go back to the party, and I get out of the Uber, and GP is playing, and I'm like, nice, I love these guys. I'm friends with these dudes. They're a great band. And actually, there's a video like on their Instagram of like from this show, and you can see me in the crowd. I'm just like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm having a good time. And then like someone like I hear people like whispering behind me, and I look, and I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, this girl like blah, 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 got way too drunk, and it's someone who I'm like really good friends with. I'm like, oh god, what's going on? So I go to the other room, and she's just in the bathroom dying, and I'm like, all right. Okay. To the point where like literally they were like, she needs to go to a hospital, man. She's got like alcohol poisoning. And I was just like, she just drank too much. She's fine. But like, I guess everyone was freaking out because she doesn't drink very often, and she already called her sister and blah blah blah. So her sister's boyfriend was coming to like take her to the hospital. Like, so I'm like, god damn it. Like, so I like pick her up, I carry her out to the vehicle and stuff, and then we ended up going to the hospital too. So I'm like, I came to this house show, and I heard like 5 minutes of music. Like, that was the whole thing for me, basically. And everything turned out all right. Everyone was totally fine, but it was one of those things where I was just like, man, I came here to listen to music.
Also, I'd just like to say, I'm pretty sure just like the act of being drunk is being alcohol poisoned. Yeah,
well, I mean, that's like that was like the dumb thing. That's the dumb shit that like quote unquote like responsible like parents will say, is they'll be like, if you're throwing up from drinking, that means that you have alcohol poisoning and you're binge drinking, which is bad. And it's like, yeah, but that's, I don't know, that's kind of what getting drunk is. But whatever.
I mean, yeah, like alcohol is
a poison. It's
alcohol
a poison,
is poison to humans, and getting drunk off of it, getting buzzed off of it, is giving yourself alcohol poisoning for fun.
Yeah, like, so yeah, I don't know, but
you know, better safe than sorry. Probably pretty good.
I don't want to be condescending or anything, but you know, they were like a little younger, I guess. Only like a year younger than me though, so I was just like, do they just not drink? like these people. But anyway, yeah, that's that story. We can listen to my song now, I guess.
All right, let's do it. Gage, spin that shit.
Yeah, I really like these guys. I've listened to the album that this is off of like a bunch of times. I don't know if it's an album actually, if it's or it's just an EP, but I think I might have talked about them on the podcast a little bit before because I think it was like a month ago, maybe more now. I first listened to them because a friend of mine, she had like a tape of a split that they had with this other band. I think they were called Karate Kids or something. But she like just found it like when she was like just buying like I think just she was just like shuffling through tapes or something at like a record store, and because she has like a tape player and like a record player, and she was like, "Oh, this looks cool," and I guess she bought it, and the guy there was like, "Yeah, these guys are great. They're from Vancouver, blah, 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 this and that." But yeah, I really like these guys. Dad Thighs. I'd say listen to them more.
Yeah, that was a really cool song. I like that a lot.
They're really good, man. That album that's off of is like so good.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that album out.
Do it, man. It's great.
Yeah, I definitely like that. That's definitely because this is kind of random, but I've been playing a lot of Civilization 6 lately.
This is random. What?
But I listen to a lot of music while I do it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because it's like not a game where I really gotta hear nothing.
You don't have to. Exactly.
So yeah, I might listen to that tonight while I stay up until fucking noon tomorrow.
Oh yeah, there you go. And then I guess I can tell my other story now.
I suppose I'll allow it.
A nightmare I had taken down from a bar show. So I'm a small town guy. So to play gigs, you often have to go to other small towns nearby because there's not enough like venues in like one town to like play, I guess. Like, or sometimes it's harder to find shows.
Right.
It's like, oh well, we already have the one band in this town that plays gigs playing here, so sorry.
Right. Usually there's fucking 4 bars in a small town that have live music, and they've already got their signature band.
Yeah, exactly, right. But yeah, there's like the 2 bands or whatever that play all of them. So we drove like this band that I was like I guess I started it technically because it was like a little project that I did because I had a buddy who's like guitarist. He's like, yeah, I'm doing like a solo show at this bar. If you guys want to play, if you guys want to hop on the bill or whatever, like that'd be cool. I can pay you for like however much time you guys do. And I was like, man, I just want to play. Like it's been like a couple of years, or I think it was a year since I had last played a gig at that point. So I was like, I'm down, man. Let's do it. So we like loaded up this trailer with like all of our gear, like, and I honestly, for the size of the bar and the size of the show, we definitely shouldn't have brought all this gear. Like we brought like stacks and stuff like that.
Oh, jeez.
All of our amps and everything. Like it was a lot of equipment. Like enough that we were like we drove in my buddy's truck, like my guitarist's truck, and then we had like I said, like a trailer attached to the back. And the trailer closed with this padlock, which has one key.
Right.
Which is super safe. It's super safe. Yeah, I think you can already tell where this is going. It's super safe. So whatever, we play the show, and I think we played from like 10 to like 1 o'clock or something like that. Not like our band, like we were just playing like in between,
right?
Like when this dude was like taking breaks in between his sets or whatever, because it was his show. Like we were just kind of like hopping on the bill. But it was a lot of fun, and I was like, for one of the first times I like sang songs that I wrote in front of like a crowd instead of like writing songs and then having a different singer sing them, whatever. I was like, this is like my project, so we're gonna do things like my way or whatever. And it was fun, but you know, it gets to the end. I'm tired. I've drank a lot, and it's 1 a.m. and I'm like, all right, time to go home. Let's go unlock the trailer.
Oh no. And this is where it gets bad, I assume.
This is where it gets bad. The guitarist Julian is like, yeah, all right, you got the keys. Where are they? And I'm like, I don't fucking have the keys. Why would I have the keys? And he's like, because I gave them to you because you went to go grab something from the trailer. And I was like, oh, I did do that. Well, I left them on the table. And we look at the table, and the keys are not on the table. And he's like, well, Steve, the keys aren't here. And I'm like, well, it appears that they aren't. Did someone take the keys? And we're like looking around like everywhere, and like the people in the bar are trying to close up. They're like, yeah, it's late, and everyone left. Why are you guys still here? And we're like, well, we're having some pretty big problems going on right now. Yeah, dude. So like this padlock is just on there. So Julian, like the guy whose truck and trailer it is, he's a mechanic, so he just has wrenches lying around. So he's like, all right, let me try. He's like, putting wrenches up because you can just break a lock with wrenches.
Oh,
but
yeah.
he just doesn't have the right sized one, so he can't quite get it. And he's like, well, shit, what are we going to do? And God bless, I forget her name, but the bartender, she's like, I have bolt cutters at home and I live like 5 minutes away. Do you want me to go grab them? And we're like, please, because otherwise we're not getting home. Like, we don't know how. And we still have to drive like an hour and a half to get home after this. So thank God she brings them. And I pay off our bills. And I think we had like a little bit of money, like, because we got paid for the show or whatever. Like, so it was just like going on our tab. And I ended up tipping like $50 or something, like, because she like saved our lives. And then, yeah, we had to pack all that stuff up and drive back an hour and a half. And I was just so embarrassed and so angry. I was like, how did I lose those keys? Like, I don't get it. And there's a part 2 to this story. It's not as interesting, but it is the ending. And I think it's quite, what's the word?
I almost just said we could save it for another podcast, but I'm really interested now. So I want to hear it now.
I'm going to say it. So at the end of this summer, like I moved away to go to school in Edmonton, and I was living in dorms, and I brought the broken lock with me because I'm like, this is a funny story, and I hung that up in my room, and I was like, that's cool. And then there's one day I'm just sitting in class, and I'm bored as hell, and I'm wearing my leather jacket, the same one that I wore that show, and I put my sleeve down, and I'm like leaning on my elbow, and I'm like, what is this? Is there something in my, like, what's going on? And I feel, and I'm like, are there keys inside my jacket, like in the lining? What is going on? So I move them. I like slowly move it, and I get it to them. Like, oh, there's a hole in this pocket in my chest. That's so weird. And I was like, I remember I always put things in this chest pocket so I don't lose them. And I put my hand and I reach out, and it's a pair of keys. And I'm like, what are these? Oh,
Steve,
I had put the keys in my jacket pocket, and they had fallen into the lining of my jacket. And they were there for like 6 months before I discovered them.
Steve.
Yeah.
I'm cringing for you right now.
Dude, it was so bad. I found him and I was like, are you serious right now?
Did you tell the band?
Oh yeah, I did. I
You
sent them a video. I sent them a video, and I was like basically giving them the rant, and then I was like, look what I found, and I just threw the keys down on the table.
God.
I'm like, and then yeah, I went to my room where I had the lock hanging up, and I just like put them in the thing, and I just opened it, and I was like, son of a bitch.
That's rough, bro.
It was really funny though. Yeah.
That is a really good story.
Thank you. I thought so too. I think that's a good way to wrap up this episode.
Yeah, and another elusive fourth song on the podcast.
Right, yes.
A little outro ditty. It's gonna be "Go On Home, British Soldiers" by who's it by, Gage?
It does not say. It says IRA song.
It's by IRA song.
All right, here we go.
Let's do it. Gage, spin that shit.
There you guys.
Go on home, British soldiers, go on home. Have you got no fucking homes out the road? For 800 years we fought you without fear, and we'll fight you for 800 more. And if you stay, British soldiers, if you stay, you'll never ever beat the IRA. Well, there's 14 men in Derry, and the last that you will bury. So take a tip and leave us Windy Bay. Oh, we'll fight some British soldiers for the cause. We'll never bow to soldiers because throughout our history we're born duty free. So get out, you British bastards, leave us be. Go on home, British soldiers, go on home. Have you got no fucking homes of your own? For 800 years we fought you without fear, and we'll fight you for 800 more. And if you stay, British soldiers, if you stay, you'll never ever beat the IRA. But there's 14 men in Derry, and the last that you will bury. So take a tip and leave us Windy Bay. Go on home, British soldiers, go on home. Have you got no fucking homes of your own? fought you without fear, and we'll fight you for 800 more. We're not Saxon, we're not British, we're not English. We're Irish and proud we are to be. So fuck your Union Jack, we want our country back. It's Ireland and Ireland it will be. Go on home, British soldiers, go on home. Have you got no fucking homes of your own? For 800 years we fought you without fear, and we'll fight you for 800 more. And if you stay, British soldiers, if you stay, you'll never ever beat the IRA. But there's 14 men in Derry, or the last that you will bury. So take a tip and leave us while you may. Go on home, British soldiers, go on home. Have you got no fucking homes of your own? For 800 years we fought you without fear, and we'll fight you for 800 more. And if you stay, British soldiers, if you stay, you'll never ever beat the IRA. But there's 14 men in Derry, and the last that you will bury. So take a tip and leave us while you may.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah.
That's kind of a bop, though.
Dude, for real, bro. You know, fuck the British.
And that was such a like nice, pleasant way of saying it.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I was expecting it to be a lot angrier.
Well, that does it for episode 17. Or
are we still in the episode? I thought we were just gonna end it with that. Okay, cool. Nice.
I figure we'll give our socials real quick.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Here's to Rubble. This has been episode somewhere between 17 and 19. I refuse to admit I'm wrong.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.